Hi, my name is Jordan, and I did my project on gender inequality at home and at work. So let's get started. What is gender inequality? It's the unfairly treated because of your gender, as well as it most focuses on gender socialization, which it starts at home. You learn gender inequality from seeing your parents or family members and how they treat each other of different genders. So, the history of the gender roles. So in ancient times, men like to go out and sleep with all the women they want to sleep with and not take care of their children. And the women were known to stay home and only be with their husbands and take care of the children in the house. And then during World War II, when all the men went off to World War, the women stayed back. They took care of the children and they worked. But when the war was over, all the women lost their jobs to make room for the men to have their jobs. And then roles for the men and women are mostly motivated by the functionalist view of society. So basically, society gives the men and women the roles. And how does it look at the workplace? So some jobs do resume screenings where they'll only hire men. So they kind of go over resumes and see if you're a man and woman, depending the name. At some jobs, women are the first to get laid off, and they're the first to get sexually harassed in the workplace. And especially the big one is the pay difference. In Canada, full-time worker women will earn 87 cents to every dollar that the men earn. So there's a big pay gap that most people are not even knowing between men and women. As well, if you're in a corporation, it's most noticeably at the senior level. More men are on the top levels than they are women, even though more women are educated nowadays than men. As well as only in those top positions, only 20% of them are women. And how does it look at home? It's usually one parent doing all the work and doing all the housework and taking care of the kids. It's mostly the moms. Very few dads will do it, but it's mostly the moms that are doing all this. Juggling life. uh, why does it still exist after all this time? It's people's perceptions. Women are perceived as weak, and they fail to fear a failure. And it's called a stalled process. And stereotypes. Uh, Most people believe women can't do something, and then the women start believing they can't do it because everybody else is telling them they can't do it. What's starting to change in the homes? Actually, it's getting better. Married men are starting to help out and do chores around the house and help with the children. The ratio now is 1.6 to 1, but it used to be 7 to 1, so it's actually getting better, which is a good thing. Households are becoming more equal. So this is my story of why I did this topic. Is a picture of me and my grandfather. He instilled in all of his kids and grandkids that it's a man's world. That women's jobs are to take care of the kids and cook and clean. Men's jobs are to pay the bills and be taken care of by his wife. Even though he would cook and clean at times, he always said it was the woman's job. So my mom was told this growing up. That it's a man's world, men are on top, women on the bottom. It's just how the world is. So fast forward, my mom got pregnant and had me. She didn't believe what her dad had taught her, so she named me Jordan because of my grandfather always saying it's a man's world. She wanted me to give me this name to have equal opportunities in life since it is a man's world, and she thought people would see my name and think of a man before they would think of a woman. And people still actually refer to me as a man before they see me, or they'll be like, "Oh, your son," and she's always saying, "Oh no, my daughter." To continue, I always fight with my grandfather that I could do as much as a man can do, and I don't need a man to make me happy. I am a single mom. It's me and my daughter. Um, and I don't want to be with a man or anybody. Um, I let her know. I let him know that I could work and pay all my own bills. And if I marry a man, they need to understand it's a partnership. We both need to cook and clean and take care of the kids and pay the bills. It's not just one person doing it all. And I actually want my daughter to grow up thinking she could do anything. And it doesn't matter if she's a girl or a boy or whatever she is. Gender doesn't matter. You're just as equal. And it matters for our future. And just the justice in it all. Because just because we're women doesn't mean we're any less of a person than a man is. In our future, this is our future we're leaving for our kids, for our grandkids, our future generations. And they should live in a world where men and women are equal. And it doesn't matter your gender. And questions to ask yourself is how can you make a difference to help achieve gender equality? And have you ever been a victim of gender inequality? What did you do? What did you learn from the experience? These are my references of what I used to make this presentation. Thank you and have a good night.